So, if you'd like to move to the next level of your health and well being, think about this. What makes you tick? What creates your fancy? What do you find in your own life excites you the most? What allows you to get up in the morning and say yes to life? What about going to sleep at night in your own life allows you to say, yes, what a life well lived today? Think about this and think about all that goes into the makeup of your own self. Oxygen, so air, water, must have water. Even if you're not drinking water during the day, which we need to, you still need it to bathe, to wash your hands, to clean things. We just need to have water. So there's a difference between our needs and our desires, and air, water, those two are critical. We cannot sustain life without them. Interestingly, most people only focus on food. The first thing people say in a storm or if a disaster strikes, and a disaster, I mean a natural disaster, then most people say, oh, we got to get them food. Never we got to get them sanitation, so water, we got to make sure they have got clean air to breathe. We need to change our own value system, I think, because in our value system, air and water will be the predominant choices that we make. And we would never destroy them, we would never create toxicity within them. And yet we've got very polluted air. We've got a lot of toxicity in our water. We've given permission to municipalities to put a tremendous amount of toxic chemicals in our water. Now, we are a chemical factory. We're made up of chemicals, and we do need chemicals, but toxic, synthetic, and man-made chemicals we do not need. So, I implore each and every one of you to think about all the ways in which we bring toxicity in our lives on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and begin to think about what it is we need to do to undo that. So, for example, to create health and well-being in our lives, we need air. It means we need people around us to stop smoking. You cannot control what other people do, but we can make sure that other people know the extent to which what they do will damage us. I have that problem myself. I've had that problem with people smoking in my building. It comes into my apartment. I end up inhaling it. I've had huge problems with that. And it's important to have, I think, if we're going to be living together in buildings or beside each other, that we have buildings that are just for non-smoking. For non-smokers. I really think we need to do that. And then buildings where people can smoke as much as they wish to. But being still aware that they are polluting the environment. So maybe around the areas where you have people who smoke, we bring in air purifiers and they have to pay for them. We need to make sure that whatever we do, we are aware of the consequences in everything in our lives. Every decision we make has a consequence. Nothing is free. We pay for every decision, every thought, every action we take in one way or the other. So we need to have consequences where people are actually celebrated and heralded for doing things that benefit the rest of society. I'm not talking about award shows for people who act, who pretend they're somebody else. I'm not talking about award shows for people who make a lot of money and people who have great PR, people behind them, pushing them and creating all of these personas. No, I'm talking about the sanitation workers who come and take the stuff that we discard, that we no longer need, that we think is stinky and smelly and is spoiled and rotten. Why don't we have award shows for them? These are the people on whom we depend. So we need to change our value system of what we see as our health and well-being. Our value system where we value sanitation workers, the very people that we need so much, but we dispense of them by ignoring them, pretending they're not there. When was the last time you went and thanked your sanitation worker? And I know some of you do. Yes, some of you do thank them. But for most people, they do not. Why are they not celebrated? Why are not they being given special time off just to be home with their friends and families and to take care of themselves. This is very important. So see you next